welcome back to another episode number, I think it's 120 of the so-called sports analyst. Josh, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm ready to secure my second straight dub of pick'ems
You
because
did get the dub.
I'm getting a clean sweep this year, boys. So just starting off 1-0. Gotta keep it moving.
Yeah, no. Don't listen to him. But if you guys are interested, I'm gonna just tell you guys how it went exactly last week. So he won the Philly matchup, Philly over
Dude, okay, I'll
Dallas.
tell you how it went.
Okay,
I
you
made
say
phone
it. Go ahead.
calls. My guys,
Honestly, that was a little fishy.
my
That was a little
my
fishy.
guys, let me tell you. He picked the Ravens. He said all I needed, he said I needed the Bills and Vikings to win. I
And you
needed to
needed the
clear
money
points.
or
And I
the
needed
over
to
under.
clear
Yeah.
points or whatever.
Hmm.
Well, I chose 59 points for a reason because I knew it was going to be a high scoring. I just didn't think it was going to be nearly 100 points, all right? All
Yeah.
right. But down 15 with around 3 minutes left,
You definitely made some calls.
the Buffalo Bills stepped up. Dub. Plus got the points.
Yeah.
Week two, game two, Vikings versus Bears. Vikings getting their butt whooped the entire first half. I made a phone call at halftime to Kevin O'Connell. Told him to put JJ McCarthy on the phone as well. And I said, "You listen here. Listen here, Mr. O'Connell and first game McCarthy." I was like, "I need you to prove me wrong, McCarthy. I need you to prove to me that you're an NFL caliber quarterback." He did that a little bit in this one, and he came back and secured the dub against my new dynasty quarterback, Caleb Williams. And Kevin
Still a crazy
O'Connell
trade.
is a guru because he can turn any bad quarterback into a good quarterback. And that's what
You
he
just
did.
threw a random stray at JJ McCarthy
So
right there.
yeah,
Just
we just did what we had to do, boys. They clutched up.
yeah,
So
no.
follow
So
my pick'ems this week.
we'll see about this week. So I won the Dallas, Cincinnati, and Washington. Washington. Wait. No wait. I won Cincinnati, Washington, Rams. I won those. You won Philly, Buffalo, Minnesota, and then you won the over under the points. So I was just giving exactly right there. So now you're up 1-0. Let me make sure to write that 1-0 on season, Josh. I'm making sure to write that so I don't forget. But all right, let's start off with this Thursday night football that is going to happen tomorrow. The Washington Commanders versus the Green Bay Packers. Both of them 1-0. Both got wins on the season. Both have high expectations, playoff expectations. And this is in Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 3.5. The over/under is 48.5 points. Who do you have winning this Thursday night football matchup?
For me, I'm going to stick with the Green Bay Packers in this one. I understand the Washington Commanders are coming off a win against division opponent, the New York Giants, but I do think this Green Bay Packers team is a lot different. I feel like Micah Parsons is a little bit more ready to play more snaps in this one. I'm not sure if he's completely healthy yet. Probably not, but I do think it's going to be a lot more. And him next to Rashawn Gary for me just does it. I think that defense is stout. I don't care who they play at this very moment. Honestly, I think they're prepared for it all. And offensively, if there's one guy that can go toe to toe with any quarterback in the league when it comes to scoring the football, it's Jordan Love. And I do think
Mhm.
having the weapons around him, and I understand the addition, um, Debo along with Scary Terry proved good in week one. But I just think Jordan Love and the boys, they're fresh, not a lot of touches for everyone around. They're going to get the job done on a Thursday night compared to a team that kind of ran Debo into the ground week one. They're still trying to figure out the running back situation. So I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you right here. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers, and just for the simple fact that they're the more talented team, and Jaden Daniels may be the better quarterback. I'm not exactly sure yet. I feel like they're kind of on the same tier right now at this moment. But I think when it comes to just talent wise, the Packers definitely have a star-studded roster, and coaching Matt LaFleur, I'll take him over Dan Quinn. But as far as fantasy matchups right here, so let me just give some key things right here. So last week, the Commanders' backfield, obviously, we talked about Bill Krosky
Mhm.
Merritt. He
Mhm.
had 10
Mhm.
carries. Austin Eckler, he had 8 carries. So it's kind of that
Receiving work
50,
though.
the
Receiving work
50-50.
though.
Yeah, the receiving work for Austin Eckler. So,
0 for Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, by the way. 0.
so obviously there's fantasy implication. This what you could talk about afterwards, but do you think Bill Krosky Merritt is going to get more burn in this game?
Honestly, for me, being an owner in a dynasty league of Bill Krosky and needing to start running back, I am still not going to start him. I think for me, it's a sit and wait a little bit. I think it's a spot start. If you necessarily have to start Bill Krosky, start him. Like obviously, but if you have better options, roll with the better options. I don't think it's time yet to really roll them out there until we see truly who the number one in this backfield is. And I think
Mhm,
honestly, it's split right now. It just depending on game situation, who's going to be out there until Bill Krosky Merritt proves that he can receive the ball as well. So I think for me, sit him. I would not
mhm.
start Bill Krosky Merritt. He could go off, and my bad,
That
guys.
touchdown carried him.
Yeah, but and the 42-yard run at the end of the game. So it was
Yeah.
also like he got a really big chunk of change in like 2 carries, and that's
Mhm,
you're chasing touchdowns at that point. You're not really necessarily getting peak volume and peak
mhm.
efficiency. So for me, sitting, sitting both actually, Austin Eckler
Sit in both. Yeah,
and Bill
that's what I was going
Krosky
to ask
Merritt.
you. And then on the other side right here, the Packers wide
Stay
receiver, they'll
away, stay
yeah.
away. I didn't even need
So
to hear it.
so let me go ahead and tell you this, the highest the sn- snap percentage, I couldn't speak for a second, wide receiver
Was
was
Dobbs?
Romeo Dobbs
Yeah,
with
Romeo Dobbs.
75%. Then after that, everybody was below 50%, which
Hmm.
just to put in perspective, number 1 wide receivers, they get 90% snap share. So is there I know right now you said sit anybody, but do you think anybody's gonna rise out from this in the middle of the fantasy football season?
Tucker Craft.
You know what? I 100% agree with you right there, Tucker Craft. Honestly, I don't have it right in front of me for Tucker Craft, but I think he got over 95%
Yeah,
snap
I
share.
think he's the outside of Josh Jacobs and obviously Jordan Love. He's the clear guy that's going to be on the field most of the time. Like
Mhm,
he's not coming off. Like Luke Musgraves, like I said in the earlier in the week, he was part of that big tight end class. A lot of big things expected from him, but Tucker Craft really emerged as the guy. He's most. I don't think most people have a tight end better than him. So
yeah.
especially if you have a Mark Andrews or a even a Travis Kelsey at this point. If you
He
have a
might
couple
be a
other
top 5
players,
tight end.
if you have other play Evan Ingram, the only guys
Mhm,
that I have above Tucker Craft right now, to be honest, and this is in all fairness, is Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, and Sam Laporta. And right there, I think Tucker Craft slides right into a top 5 tight end. So I think he's the must start if you're really going to look at this receiving core in Green Bay.
yeah, I have to agree with you 100% there, and as far as any other starts, obviously you start Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry, but do you no,
I start
I would stay
Debo.
away
You
from
have to.
you would start
I
Debo?
think you. I think you have to after week one. 10 targets,
Yeah.
a couple
It was like
rushes.
22 points, something like that in
Yeah, a
standard?
couple rushes. I think you have to chase the volume. I think he got enough of that in week one. You may have better options because Debo's price was very cheap this year. So maybe you might have options, but if you don't and you have Debo Samuel, flex start for sure. I think he offers too much, especially looking at week one. And Jaden Daniels seemed to really enjoy him a lot, especially because he's closer to the line of scrimmage than a Scary Terry, who's going to get more deep action. But if you look at on the other side, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, I'd kind of stay away. I think I'd stay away from Jordan Love
You think it's a bad matchup?
only because I think he's a streaming option. I think you may have better options to start than Jordan Love. Like for the
Mhm.
most part, I think most people have Jordan Love as their second quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, and I just think it's a bad matchup because al although the Washington Commanders defense isn't as good as the Packers, I think they're a stingy defense and they could present problems. I think this is gonna be the vintage Josh Jacobs game right here where he ends up having possibly 20 points, a couple tutters right here. So
Hmm.
that should help you out, Damien, in that fantasy football trade right there. But All right, as far as the start of the 12 o'clock games right here, the first one we're going to start off with the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. Both of them 0-1. Cowboys favored by 5.5. Over under is 44.5 points right here. So, who you picking?
For me, I can't pick the Giants no more unless Jackson Dart is a starter. I think that's for me. I'm gonna stick with the Dallas Cowboys, but I think the game turned a lot more interesting after the news today. Deron Bland going down. I do think Malik Neighbors right now to the moon this week. I don't know. I really don't see Trayvon Diggs causing much of a problem for Malik Neighbors week one. The only issue I have is Russell Wilson. That's the complete issue I have. And yeah, I even said it when I picked him last week. Like, I had to hype him up as a gym coach, as a summer camp counselor to make it feel right. But yeah, I'm sticking with the Dallas Cowboys in this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go against the Cowboys. I'm a homer here, but I don't know if Diggs is gonna follow. Diggs really doesn't do much following on the outside. He does, but not in the slot. So I think Malik Neighbors is really gonna get a bunch of work in the slot this week
But
because he's gonna have
my
that
only thing
advantage.
is, if he is shadowing Malik, I think Wandale Robinson's gonna have a big day. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
think
I think.
I think one of the two. Definitely not the run. The Cowboys, they proved that they're gonna be able to stop the run. It's more of that intermediate. It's more of that
Mhm.
intermediate right there, but I think this game, it's not really the talking point right here. It's fantasy football. Do you think this Cowboys, outside of Javonte Williams, this passing offense, do you think it bounces back? Because there was glimpses. There was
Mhm.
glimpses last week from this passing offense of the Cowboys. So do you think they bounce back this week?
I do think they bounce back. I mean, CeeDee Lamb still didn't have a bad day. CeeDee Lamb had a really good day. Couple drops, a couple of one of those drops turned into a catch. It's a completely like better
It's a
day. It was
tutter.
already a good day. It was a way better day now. So,
Yeah.
you start CeeDee Lamb, no matter what, he already was good last week. He's gonna have an even better week this week. George Pickens, I would start
Yeah.
George Pickens. I just think last week was gonna be one of the tougher matchups he's gonna have. Kenyon Mitchell shadowed him the entire game. So
Mhm.
you eliminate the number two, you put the number one, Adoree Jackson, double team CeeDee Lamb, triple team CeeDee Lamb,
Didn't
makes it
work.
hard, for both sides. Yeah, I'm starting both right now. I don't see the Giants really containing them too much.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm definitely full sending the Cowboys passing offense this week, and I think I'm interested to see how that goes on, whether or as it goes on, because you're not going to see many secondaries as talented as the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they had a cornerback two situation that was struggling, but are they going to
Well, at least at
keep
the
doubling
top
CeeDee
end, you're
Lamb?
not going to see
Yeah,
many people with Cooper DeJean and Kenyon Mitchell over
yeah.
there. So
So I'm just wondering, are they going to keep doubling CeeDee Lamb and then have their best corner on George Pickens? Are they gonna flip it? I think whenever George Pickens, he does get that double team,
matchup
I think
based.
he's gonna be yeah, it's gonna really be just favorable, and then the Giants, they really don't have no DBs that could really guard either or, even if you double team them. And let me
hmm
ask you this, just yes or no, Javonte Williams, is he gonna have a similar performance to last week?
I don't know how you don't start him after seeing, at least in a flex situation. I just don't see how you sit him after seeing what he did last week. I understand the carries weren't very efficient, but he did receive the volume. He was the clear number one in that backfield, especially Miles Sanders fumbling. I think he lost his job almost that moment. Jaden Blue, we don't know what he is yet, so I'm not even too worried about that. At the goal line, he's getting the ball. No one else is.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's not doing no quarterback sneak. We just don't see that regularly anymore unless he's jumping over. And then on the outside, I mean, you have the threat of two red zone targets, but in all honesty, they're going to try running the ball first. Like, so we're going to go. I think Javonte Williams is a flex start, if any.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. I think Jadon Blue, again, with rookie running backs in fantasy football, is not usually till unless they're a high draft pick. Jadon Blue, he was a day 3 draft pick. So you're gonna have to wait till week 7, week 8 and on. And that's when you're really gonna see the beneficial side of that. But all right, next game right here. This one should be high scoring. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's here by 3.5 in Cincinnati. The over-under is 48.5 points. So who are you taking?
Taking the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one quite easily.
I had a
I just
feeling.
feel
I
like
had a feeling.
I just feel like this defense is going to struggle a lot versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This isn't the Cleveland Browns per se. I do think the Jaguars Though had a rough one against the Panthers. I think from a stylistic standpoint, from just a pure film watch of the team, they struggled a little bit. I still think they're trying to figure out the roles with Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter. I do think they're going to dial up Travis Hunter a lot. I mean, Brian Thomas a lot more in this one, especially with no one out there able to guard Brian Thomas. So I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars because of that, because I do think they have the weapons to keep up on the other side with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Jaguars defense is also better than the Cincinnati Bengals, which is probably every other defense in the entire NFL. So I'd trust that standpoint more than I would the Cincinnati Bengals, not just because I'm a hater of the Bengals, because well, right now technically I have to go for the Bengals because I have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in Dynasty now.
You
Thank you
just need them
guys,
to score.
but I just need them to do all right. Get everything you can, but don't win the game. Like that's all I'm
Exactly.
asking for. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one.
I don't know what it is. Even this goes back to like 2 years ago. We always, if there's a game that we always disagree with, it definitely involves the Cincinnati Bengals here. I
I
think
think
it's,
it even involves the Jaguars as well too.
yeah, I
Like,
think so too. It's always the Jaguars and Bengals. But no, give me the Cincinnati Bengals here. I think for the first time in the Zach Taylor era, they actually start 2-0 in a season. Like I said last week, 1-11 in the 6 years that Zach Taylor, he was the head coach. But give me the Bengals here. And I liked what I saw. I know it's a Browns offense. I know it's a Browns offense, but they have some pieces there. And Joe Flacco, he's a respectable quarterback. I'm not saying it's on the Jaguars level, but I just think the Bengals are going to just get just enough stops, just enough for that Bengals offense to score. And this is one of the highest over-unders of the week. So I see some points on the board. I don't usually give score predictions, but I say like it's going to be like mid 20s to like 30, maybe like
mhm.
27, 31, something along those lines. But I agree with you. I think BTJ is bouncing back. But okay, we already know T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas Jr., Joe Burrow,
Chase
we
Brown,
Chase Brown. We know those guys. But I want to focus in on
the
Travis.
Jaguars.
Yeah, Travis Etienne, Travis Hunter, the Travises.
So
So
the
they had
Travises are
the great outings last week.
okay.
Are they
ETN's
going
a
to
must
repeat
start.
those performances?
ETN
Yeah.
is a must start. There's no question about
Do you
it.
think he's a
If you
running
had
back
it
one in fantasy football now?
as of right now, I put him RB2. Another week of this, RB1. RB1
Okay.
standard. I think he goes back to what he was 2 seasons ago. Like obviously, but
Mhm.
I do think okay, there's no question we're starting him. Travis Hunter though, I'm scared this week. Liam Cohen literally came out and said we're gonna play him more at defense this week, and I think that's for matchup
That's
purposes.
the Bengals, yeah.
Obviously, I mean Jamar Chase, T Higgins. Like I don't know who he's necessarily gonna guard up against the entire game, but I do think this is a week. I think this is how we're gonna gauge Travis Hunter's career. I will say this. Okay,
Mhm.
matchup based. Who's on the other side of the ball? Obviously, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Both guys are bona fide stars in the league.
Ones,
Both
yeah.
guys are gonna be ones on their. If T. Higgins on another team, he's gonna be a number one no matter what. Like depending on who he's next to him, but for the most part, a number one. You play Travis Hunter on defense in this standpoint. When you look at like last week when he played the Panthers, no one, a Ted McMillan, unproven, you can play him more at wide receiver. So I think this is what it's going to be for his career to start for sure. So I would personally stay away from Travis Hunter in this situation.
You know what? I really like that, and I think after you said that with Liam Cohen, that's honestly a great that's a great point right there. Unless you have to start Travis Hunter. If you're in my
Yeah, I have to
situation
start
where
him in
I got
one where I
inherited
picked
a
up
14-man league
yeah,
and
I
Travis
got
Hunter.
inherited a trash team where I had a keeper league where apparently they keep everybody, and I had to draft nothing but rookies. So I'm starting, but the guy I traded Caleb Johnson straight up for
I was
Emeka
about to say,
Egbuka,
but you
guys.
got Emeka Egbuka.
Let me tell y'all. So we'll figure it out, and at least I have Jalen Hurts on that team, so we're good.
Yeah. You have some pieces on that team right
Yeah,
there.
I
You
have some
do.
pieces. I think I'll get my first dub this week. I think I'll get my first dub this week.
You will. You will. You got this. I believe in you, but all right, this one I feel like uh I guess you could say Chicago Bears versus Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson's revenge game. This is in Detroit. Lions after a embarrassing loss to the Packers. Lions are favored by 6.5 points in this game, and the over/under is 46.5 points. So who's winning?
Hold on. This one was hard for me. When I picked him, I'm just gonna go back to see who I picked, and I'm gonna stick
This is
to it.
tough.
Man, oh, man.
This is
Lions or
tough, bro.
Bears? Lions or Bears?
You want to talk fantasy first before you give your pick?
Fantasy. All right.
Do the Lions offense bounce back? Because the Bears have a good defense. They held
I
the
think they
Vikings in
bounce
check for
back
the
to an
most part.
extent. I don't think it's another version of what they were last week. I do think they bounce back a little bit. Like I will say, but what I am afraid of, someone's gonna be left out. Like this isn't no more where Ben Johnson's getting everyone involved. Like I do think someone random's gonna catch 4 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. I'm just saying. It's gonna be Isaac
I forgot
Tesla.
about that.
But
I forgot about that.
But for me, I do think they bounce back. You start Amon-Ra. I don't know how you cannot start Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like
Yeah.
that's one of those things. Like you have to. It's the name value. It's Amon-Ra St.
Yeah.
Brown.
You live by it.
Jamison Williams, who probably don't have a better flex than Jamison Williams. You probably don't have a better flex than Jamison Williams, like from like a value standpoint. I mean, Sam Laporta is a must start. There's no questions about that. Jahmyr Gibbs must start. Jared Goff is not a start. I will say Jared Goff is not a start. David Montgomery,
Monty, maybe
the value is going down. I feel like for David Montgomery right now, I just don't see
65-35 split.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
It came to fruition.
I can't trust it. David Montgomery is a must sit as a spot start. I think if you have to, you start him. If you don't need to, flex maybe. But but Amon-Ra start. JMO flex. Jahmyr Gibbs start. Jared Goff, no. David Montgomery, I'd say no. Laporta must start. Isaac Tesla for me is a must start.
He's actually standing. He's actually standing on that. He's starting him in Dynasty over, who was it? Zach Ertz and somebody else.
Yeah, I don't have many options right now because Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice are both dead right now. But on the other side, Caleb Williams is a must start. I think what he showed last week, you have to start a guy that's going to run the football like that. I mean, I don't think if you're going to start Justin Fields, you have to start Caleb Williams. That's just me. I think that's fair to say. DeAndre Swift is a must start. I think DeAndre Swift is definitely a must start. He looked good last week. I don't think he looked amazing, but he looked good. Like he looked very confident out there, more confident than he has in a couple seasons, I will say. Since the Eagles. I think this is as confident as he looked since he played with the Eagles. He was receiving out of the backfield, ran through a couple dudes' face. He was doing his thing. So must start. Tight ends, I'm not starting none of the tight ends for the Chicago Bears. I just don't think you can trust it right now. It's not Colson Loveland's time yet. But for the receivers, you start both.
I
think you have to start both. I think DJ Moore, what did he get? Like he got more of the value targets, I will say. DJ Moore got more of the value targets. What was it, around 10 targets? 10 targets, something like that.
He had like 5 catches.
Well, Romo Dunze had 9 targets. So it's the offense is clearly funneled through those two guys. Like if the offense is going to go as DJ Moore and Romo Dunze goes, and you have to start both. I think Romo Dunze is definitely a flex start. Could be a sneaky wide receiver too, but definitely your flex. You're putting him in your flex. If you don't, trade him to me, please. DJ Moore is what I saw, wide receiver 1. I think he is a wide receiver 1 right now, especially the way Caleb Williams is playing. He would have had a big day if he didn't get killed in the middle of the field. Caleb Williams missed him on a touchdown, a clear open touchdown. So there was many, and even for Romo Dunze as well. I think Romo Dunze had a couple missed opportunities where he was wide open down the field, could have been touchdowns. There's a couple of opportunities where just the passes were bad, or he just it was a tough contested grab and he got popped as well a couple of times. So I do think both are must starts. They both are in a high powered offense and they're both going to get the ball. So I'm going to stick with those two. And Olamide Zaccheaus, if you're in like a 14 man, he is a consideration. He is a consideration.
No, I agree with you with the Rome and DJ Moore. I think that's going to be one of the types where they could both be number ones any given Sunday. I think it's just going to be who has a touchdown that week. Obviously, there's going to be some spike weeks where they both have touchdowns, but I think it's going to be every other week where they're going back and forth, but they're going to still have some value to them. Bare minimum, they'll finish worst case scenario a low end wide receiver 2 or a high end wide receiver 3. So, and on the good weeks, they'll do good. But as much as I want to pick the Chicago Bears, because Caleb Williams has a special place in my heart, and he still is
Same.
my GOAT. I think he's gonna do really
Same.
good this week. Ben Johnson's gonna pull some stuff out of the
I think the
bag.
Bears are going to do really good, but I'm picking the Lions.
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions here too. Okay, see, we're on the same level right here, and I think we're gonna agree on this next one right here. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Tennessee Titans. 1-0 versus 0-1. Cam Ward second start. Rams are favored by 5.5. One of the lowest over-unders, 41.5 points for the week. So who's winning?
All that's going to Los Angeles or what? So, yeah, I'm going to the Rams. No questions about it. I don't think I really need to say much.
Yeah, Rams too.
Yeah, must starts. Puka have to start. Kyron Williams, you have to start. Devontae Adams, you start.
He's gonna
him.
have a better week. He's gonna have a better
I
week.
think you start flex for sure.
Yeah.
On the other side, Tony Pollard for me is the only start.
You wouldn't give Calvin Ridley another chance?
I would give him or Ellick in a deeper league. I think Calvin Ridley you start because he could pop off at any moment, and he did have. He was getting shadowed by Patrick Surtain, so yeah, I'd start him. I'd start Calvin Ridley. Ellick Ayo Maynor, I'd give it another week.
I'm so glad you said his name because I want to butcher him, but I picked him up in like 3 separate leagues, bro. Like, I think, okay, this again, before I say this,
bro, personally, your dad's gonna listen to this. I hate that we have limits to the positions.
I know. Oh no, trust me. I hate it too. I hate this too. So
because I didn't
in
pick
one of the
up
leagues
nobody
my dad runs,
because I have a spot open, so I had to pick up
a running back or
Rashard Smith. Like, so it's like
per position, it's ugly. So in one of my dad's league, Josh is talking about you have I think it's 7 wide receiver max, 7 running back max, and like so you can only pick up so many, even though there's other guys that are. I kind of had a cheese because I had.
And I wanted to pick up a third quarterback too because someone just dropped somebody, I think, and I was like, "Oh, I'll pick him up." And then no, I can't because you only have 2 quarterback max. So
I kind of cheese because Kittle went on IR. I know Kittle. It's tough for Kittle going on IR, but I picked up Arnold Fannin in both leagues, so it's kind of a W. I'll see how he does whenever Kittle gets back. So yeah, no, but I'm taking the Rams here by far. This is going to be a defensive battle. Both defenses are good, but Rams are going to pull through. But this next game right here, we have the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. Both teams are 0-1. This is in Miami. Miami is favored by 1.5, surprisingly, and the total is 42.5 points. So which team bounces back?
After seeing what the Dolphins did last week, I'm for sure going with the New England Patriots in this one. Like, I don't think there's any questions about it. The Dolphins don't look like a football team right now. So, yeah, give me the New England Patriots. And I do think the Patriots will be better this week. I do think there were just a couple miscues on their part.
And a much worse defense.
Yeah.
So, Travion, give him some time. You have to give him some time. Diggs, he's barely coming back. So I don't expect him till like week 4 and 5 on for him to really start ramping up fantasy football wise. You could start Drake May. You could start him. I wouldn't be mad. Hunter Henry, I guess, if you don't have no other tight end. But the Dolphin side, this is where it gets rough. You don't start Tua, Tyreek Hill. You don't have to start him.
You don't have to, but like, you would probably be pissed if you're the guy that didn't start Tyreek Hill and he drops 21 points tomorrow on Sunday. But
the only one that's for sure is Devon Achane.
Yeah, Devon Achane's starting no matter what. Devon Achane. And plus, Ollie Gordon didn't get much work last week. Jalen Wright's still hurt. So he's going to be clear-cut 90% play time in this one. So
and all the
Devon Achane.
Yeah, no, but nothing else more than that. Give us the Patriots. Next game right here we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the New Orleans Saints. Niners who are banged up. Kittle's out. Juwan Jennings might be out. Brock Purdy, he hurt his shoulder. And Yeah, that I think that's all the injuries, and then the Saints with Spencer Rattler starting in the second game. Niners are favored by 3.5, even though it's in New Orleans. The over/under is 40.5 points.
I'd be
Who you
damned
taking?
if I picked the New Orleans Saints. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers in this one. Yeah. Ricky Pearsall to the moon.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall, number one wide receiver for the Niners, looked a lot better now. He has no comp. What is it? Jake Tongues, Jawan Jennings out. So their wide receiver two would
Christian
be
McCaffrey and
honestly
Ricky Pearsall is the offense. That's what it is.
to the moon. To the moon.
Kendrick Bourne is his wide receiver 2 right now, guys, by the way.
Ew.
So and Sky
Ew.
Moore is the wide receiver 3. So
Ew.
let's keep it moving.
Ew. Yeah, no. Give me the Niners right here. This one right here, it should be fun right here.
Hold on.
Buffalo
Must
Bill.
starts.
Oh yeah.
Ricky
C-Mac.
C-Mac. And if Purdy does play, you kind of have
You
to
have
play
to start
Purdy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Saints
Yeah.
defense is good, so I don't
Saints,
expect it to
Alvin
be
Kamara is a
crazy,
must
just
start.
solid.
Alvin Kamara is a must start. Outside of that, you
Olave,
got nobody. Jawan Johnson,
Olave,
hold
no.
on. Jawan Johnson might be a start because he had a
Kellamore
monster
loves
week
to
1.
throw to the tight end.
He had a
He
monster
loves
week
to.
1. And Jawan Johnson is an athlete. Like, he is good. He's shown spurts in his career where he's like, okay, that might be the guy. It's just injuries catch up to him, I do feel like.
I think he's the type of guy where you pick up off a waiver wire and you're just like, I need to see it one more week, and then I'll start him. Because I don't
He's
know.
also the type of
I
guy to
just
give it to you one more week and never give it again. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah. So it's like if you have to start him, you will. If Kittle went out for you, if Brock Bowers doesn't play for you, then I guess you have to start him. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the must starts. But Niners are winning that one. Next one, it's a division rival, AFC East. Buffalo Bills versus New York Jets. Buffalo is favored by 6.5 points. Over under is 46.5, one of the higher ones of the week. So who's winning this one?
I do think this is going to be a fun game. I do think this is going to be another high-scoring game. I feel like the Buffalo Bills got exposed out there, especially pertaining to the rushing game, but you are playing Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. But I will say Justin Fields looked good rushing the football week 1. So did Breece Hall. He looked like old Breece Hall from rookie year in that one. So for me, I'm still going to go with the Buffalo Bills, but I do think this is going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills here.
And who's guarding Garrett Wilson? That's all I'm saying. Like,
hey, remember what I said? I said Justin Fields and Breece Hall is a lesser version of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And so they're playing the lesser version this week. And I think there's going to be some points scored. So you have to I'm sorry. I know it was 1 week of Justin Fields, but I think you have to start. You have to start Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall.
Breece Hall.
They're must starts as of right now until you see otherwise. The Bills, honestly, at this point with the Bills,
James Cook.
honestly, Keon Coleman.
I'm
he almost
starting
had
Keon
2
Coleman
last week.
I'm starting Keon Coleman. I will say. I do think there's a little bit something cooking in the oven right now.
I think he's overtaken that number 1 of Khalil Shakir. He just needed some time. And okay, I'll say this, Josh. I don't know if you agree. For the 2-point conversion, if your best play is going to a fade route for Keon Coleman, that shows how much faith they have in Keon Coleman in the big spots. So from this point forward, he's wide receiver 1 in my opinion. All right. Next game right here, the second to last 12 o'clock game. Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the over-under is 39.5, the lowest of the week, if I'm not mistaken. This is in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored by 2.5. Who's winning this defensive battle?
Honestly, I think the Seahawks are going to win this quite easily. I will say.
Ooh.
I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers really played that good in week 1. I understand that I think there's a lot of mistakes by New York Jets, especially that fumble to start the fourth quarter. There's a couple opportunities that the Jets missed with a couple interceptions that they could have had versus Aaron Rodgers. I know that happens every week with a lot of quarterbacks, but there was opportunities that the Jets had to really seal this thing, and they just never did. For me, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks will make that same mistake. I do think having both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at their disposal, give me JSN because he went absolutely nuts last week. And I do think this defense is against the run is very comparable. And I know they don't really have much to offer in the backfield, but I think if they eliminate that completely, all their focus can turn towards stopping the passing game. And I think the Seattle Seahawks are built for that. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one.
honestly, I was really torn in this game, and I'm barely deciding this right now. I'm gonna take the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I think this is you could convince me to go to the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not confident in this pick. I think this one's really just a coin flip at this
For
point, and
me,
I'm just
DK is not having a revenge game, guys. Or if, even
it.
if there
It
is a
is
revenge game,
it is the
Devon
revenge game.
Witherspoon's gonna
Yes.
lock that fool up.
I, all I'm saying is that okay. I'll say
And
this:
Calvin
Arthur.
Austin is not like that. I'm just saying that. He is not like that. Calvin Austin is not like that. There's a
Okay,
reason he's been a glorified wide receiver for his whole career, dude. Like he is
it's
not
true.
like that.
Let me say this here, Josh. Arthur Smith, if you're paying attention to fantasy football and he's on your team, or like he's coaching one of the guys on your team, he is a terrible coordinator. But if you happen to not care about fantasy football at all, Arthur Smith is a good coordinator because he is going to throw it to the most random guy, a Ben Skoranek touchdown, 2 Calvin Austin touchdowns. It's just really ugly. It's really ugly. And I think it's going to be a same formula. I don't think the Steelers are going to score as many points, but I just think I'm going to take the better quarterback right here. And I think A-Rod, if he can continue his momentum, the Steelers are going to start off 2-0. But only must starts here, really for me, it's JSN. I just think JSN, he's the only start because everybody
Yeah.
else, it's a defensive battle.
Yeah, I'm only starting JSN in this one. I don't think anyone else is there's just splitting with
Yeah.
everybody. So
And another thing
and
I want to look out for, K9 and Zach Charbonnet. Does the
where's the
split
split
continue
gonna
how it
be?
is? Yeah.
Yeah, where's
Is
the
it going to
split
be
gonna be?
50-50 still? Yeah. I'm worried. I'm worried about K9. But all right, last 12 o'clock game here.
Send him
The
send him to the
Cleveland.
Chiefs. Send him to the Chiefs. Let's do it. Send him to the Chiefs.
No, do not send him to the Chiefs.
I'll give you a little third rounder for some Kenneth Walker. Or Zach Charbonnet. Send Zach Charbonnet to the Chiefs. That'd be great.
One of the two. All right. This one, last 12 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the last 12 o'clock game. Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, after giving up a 15-point comeback to the Buffalo Bills, they're favored by 11.5 versus the Cleveland Browns, and the over-under is 44.5. So who's winning?
Give me the I'm just kidding. Give me the Baltimore. Give me the Baltimore Ravens in this one. I just think that this is going to be a little bit more of a bounce back game, especially losing that way in week 1. I do think this defense is going to step up a little bit more. I do think the Browns will give them trouble, though. The Browns have given them trouble in the past, especially last year with Joe Flacco. The Browns definitely were a problem. But this year, I just think it's going to be the Ravens game to win based off what happened last week. So I'm going to stick with the Baltimore Ravens just as a safe pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking the Ravens here, and I don't think the line would be at 11.5 if they beat the Buffalo Bills. Even if they made that mini comeback, I think it'd be at like 5.5 points. But I just think people just know the Ravens are going to come out pissed in this game. But as far as starts, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, wide receiver one, potentially.
You have to start Zay Flowers.
I'm not saying like
Zay Flowers all
I'm not
year.
saying like top 5. I'm not saying top 5 wide receiver, but maybe he could sneak in as like the wide receiver 8 on the year, wide receiver 7. I could see something like that.
Maybe.
He's never got any touchdowns. He had 4. 4 was his most touchdowns. He already had 1. So I'm just saying he needs those touchdowns and that's it. But
he's on pace for 16, for 17.
Hey, that's a damn good pace right there. But yeah, okay, I think that's it. Yeah, that's everybody.
You're not starting Cedric Tillman or Jerry Jeudy? I think you kind of have to after last Ravens.
Week. And honestly, I might start Dylan Sampson because Quinshawn, they said he's going to only get a little bit of burn.
Mm-hmm. Which is understandable. I think you
Dylan
got 2 more weeks of this Dylan Sampson. Sell high right now on Dylan Sampson. Like I will say, like I do think it's going to come to an end pretty quickly once Quinshawn Judkins is fully healthy. I mean, I think he's still going to be involved as a receiving back, kind of in that little Jerick McKinnon role, I will say. I think that's a good comparison. But I do think that once Quinshawn Judkins comes back, it's going to be a clear cut. He's the number 1.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think these, again, like you
Jerome
said, 2
Ford
weeks
could be on the move,
weeks.
I feel like.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the odd man out because you drafted both these guys this year and you could just tell they're clearly better. But
And I
yeah,
think they
no.
like Raheem Sanders as well. So
Yeah. Or what? They don't call him Raheem. What do they call him? Rocket Sanders? Something like that.
mm,
At least that's what they called him during the announcers thing. They called him Rocket Sanders. But all right. The 3 o'clock games. Oh, there's only three for the week. Denver Broncos versus the Indianapolis Colts. This is in Indy. Denver's favored by 1.5. Over unders 42.5 points right here. So does the Daniel Jones saga or will the Daniel Jones Linsanity run continue?
this is where the Daniel Jones run ends and the Riley Leonard's run starts. So I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos in this one. I really don't think I have to explain much. I think this defense is just gonna be too much. Bo Nix is gonna continue not to be good, but everyone else around him is gonna be pretty good. So
Yeah, I agree with you right here. I'm definitely taking the Denver Broncos, and I think the only
Tyler
must
Warren
starts is Sutton, Tyler Warren, Jonathan
and
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Pittman, maybe. Maybe.
I
No,
feel
he's
like
gonna
you
have
have to.
Surtain the whole game.
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
starting Michael Pittman. I'm not starting Michael
yeah.
Pittman if I have
I want
him.
to see how Josh
I've never
Downs.
drafted Michael Pittman, so that says a
I've
lot.
never drafted him either. I think he's that guy like where it's like, yeah, he'll give you volume, but you'd rather take a up or an upside guy like
Mhm.
some somebody. But do you wait? I'm sorry, I went completely blank there. Do you think this passing offense for the Broncos gets better this week? Because it was atrocious last week.
No.
that simple, cut and dry. No.
Yeah. Yeah,
Who-
I just think there outside of Cortland Sutton, there's nobody there. There's nobody there a real role right now. I just don't think anyone's really established. Evan Ingram just got hurt. I don't know what his status is gonna be come Sunday. So
Oof.
I really just think you're kind of just forcing your hand. I think it's gonna be run the ball with J.K. Dobbins
Mhm,
and R.J. Harvey this week.
mhm. Okay, yeah, no, I agree with you right here. All right. The last 305 game of the evening, the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are favored by 6.5 points. That is a crazy line. So I don't read these lines beforehand. So almost a touchdown, and the over/under is 43.5 points in Arizona. Who's winning?
Give me the Arizona Cardinals. I just after seeing the Panthers in week 1, I still think they're not ready for it. So I'm gonna go with Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. The defense is a little bit better. James Conner. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals right here. And only guy you start for the Panthers, Chuba, Tet. Tet, you have to start him because he's a rookie wide receiver. Do you start Kyler this week? I think Josh might have froze on me. Yeah, no, Josh, he definitely did freeze on me. Hopefully he comes back soon, or hopefully I'm the one that didn't freeze right here. So let me see if Josh he could happen to join back in this. But like I was saying, as far as with the Cardinals, I'm not. I think I would personally start Kyler Murray this week just because it's a good matchup versus the Carolina Panthers. And obviously, you start the McBride, you start the Marvin Harrison. But I just want to see how Marv does because he had a really good week last week versus the Saints. And I think the Saints and Panthers, they kind of have a similar level as far as as far as defense wise. Oh, Josh's Wi-Fi just went out right now. He just happened to text me. Yeah, he just happened to text me. So I guess it might take him a little bit to get back on. This might be edited out or not. So okay, 1 second.
I'm
Oh, well,
back
you're
in.
back. That was pretty
Yeah.
quick. I'll just have to edit just a little bit then.
Yeah, I think it just lost connection for like a quick second.
Oh, okay. No, but all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to these. Oh, there's four more games. Oh, there's two Monday night games. That's why. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of the Super Bowl here. This is in Kansas City, but Philly is favored by 1.5 points. Over under is 46.5 points. So are the Chiefs getting their revenge?
Hell yeah.
That simple? That simple right there?
I have no analysis behind it. Just hell yeah.
Well, you know I'm gonna have to pick the Philadelphia Eagles right here.
Yeah.
I think you already
Yeah.
knew this was coming right here, but I think this is iffy right here. Is Jalen Carter? He did not get suspended. I was actually really surprised by that. I guess you could say his suspension was the Cowboys game. So So I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how that interior of the Kansas City offensive line does. I'm not worried about Mahomes or anybody, but I'm just worried about the interior of the offensive line and if Jalen Carter is gonna wreak havoc on that. But you can't count out Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts had a great week last week, so I just want to see if he could continue it on the same level that he did against a better defense. But starts here, you obviously start Mahomes, Kelsey. Do you
Hurts.
start Pacheco?
No. I don't think
No.
you do. I think you fade the running backs for the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Um
Hollywood?
Saquon,
You start Hollywood?
I
He got a
think
lot of targets.
hear me out. I think the Chiefs are going to be more prepared for football rather than fantasy football. Like I will
Mm,
say that. Like I think you're going to start Hollywood expecting him to get 11 targets, 12 targets, but Juju Smith-Schuster's going to end up with 6 targets. Tyquan Thornton's going to end up with 5 deep targets. Travis Kelce's going to
mhm.
end up with 6 targets. Like I do think okay, that's a lot, but like they're all going to be I think the ball is going to be spread around
Yeah.
depending on the play. And then plus you got to factor in they had Rashard Smith in a lot of passing down situations. Pacheco's still available in passing down situations. Noah Gray really wasn't involved last week, so
Yeah.
that's still another factor you have. I do think they're going to use everybody that they have available. Like so.
Mm. Okay. Okay,
And
yeah, I see
especially
what you mean.
looking at what the Cowboys were able to do to that passing to them early in that first half, I do think that even though the Chiefs are going to probably have Kenyon Mitchell shadow they're going to have Kenyon Mitchell shadow Hollywood, I do think that they're going to try exposing everyone else like an Adoree Jackson against a Tyquan Thornton on the outside. Like I do think they're going to try that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I could definitely see that right there, and it's gonna just be interesting watching the chess match between the 2. But Sunday Night Football,
AJ
Atlanta
Brown,
Falcons.
hold on.
Oh,
Are you starting AJ Brown this week?
he's gonna bounce
You
back.
have to. You have to start AJ Brown.
The one that I'm worried about is
Devonta.
Devonta Smith because he's gonna have that McDuffie shadow. So that's the one that I'm worried about right there.
Hmm.
But Dallas Goddard, I guess you start him. I have to start him because I have him in the league, but other than that, I really wouldn't start him. I know they say the Kansas City safeties are not as strong, but I think that the Kansas City defense is definitely going to have a better outing this week after kind of a not disappointing but undermining this performance versus the Chargers last week. So I really do think so. But all right, Sunday night football. Let's get these last 3 games right here. Falcons versus Vikings right here. This is in Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 3.5. Over under is 44.5 points. How does JJ McCarthy do in a second start?
I'm going to stick with the Vikings in this one. I do think the Vikings are going to win. I think JJ McCarthy will look a lot more comfortable in week 2. I expect a big game from Justin Jefferson. So I'm going to stick with the Minnesota Vikings. And that defense with Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen really stepped up in the second half last week, and they wreaked havoc all over that offensive line that was doing very well to begin with, outside of a
Mhm,
couple of false starts. Um, I really do think that the Minnesota Vikings are gonna win this football game, and especially I don't know the status of Drake London right now. Is he gonna
mhm.
play? Is he gonna be limited? So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings, just a better coach, better roster, and the quarterbacks. I'm not exactly sure. I still have them on the same playing field, and I
Level.
think the Vikings defense, yeah, level. That's the word that I was trying to use. And I just think the Vikings defense, they're going to be able to contain Bijan Robinson, and even if Drake London plays, he's probably not going to be
Is Grady
100%.
Jarrett? No, he's not on the Vikings. Is Grady Jarrett on the
He's
Vikings?
on Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, okay, so that's where he went. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah, he
knew
went
it
to
was a
Chicago.
NFC North team.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm taking the Vikings here for sure. But
I was
all
like,
right,
I remember
these
hearing his name last week. I was like, hold on, like I just couldn't remember. Which team?
Yeah. I don't know how much burn I don't know how much burn he got, but I don't know. I heard his name just a couple times, but that's it. All right, two Monday Night Football games. This one at 6 o'clock. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Bake Show versus the Houston Texans. Houston's favored by 2.5 at home. Over under is 42.5 points.
You
Who's
know
winning?
where we're going with this one. It's going to be the Bake Show, of course. I think the Texans' offensive line is going to be a problem. Someone said Vita Vea was hurt. He did play. Um,
Hmm.
Hassan Reddick, I think, will have a bounce back game. He had an okay, all right game, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Antoine Winfield and the boys and Baker, and then I do think Nico's gonna have a big game. I'm not. Think he's gonna have a massive game. So yeah, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially with Emeka Egbuka at
My
the
guy.
defense is going to cause problems for this Buccaneers offense, but I just do think they're too high powered that it's still gonna get the job done.
Yeah, you could definitely tell the Buccaneers offense, they were shaky to start off, but they definitely got onto a rhythm. I think it's going to continue. Like you're saying, I agree with you. I think now you can't double Mike Evans. It's just a bunch of one-on-ones because
But
Emeka Ibuka's
Baker do
there.
not care who's on who. That's all I'm saying. Baker does not care.
Honestly, that is true. And he's playing back in Texas. You know, he always loves to show out when he goes back to Texas. So
He
give
just
me the
knows he's
big,
loved here. He just knows he's
yeah.
loved here.
He's just
Texas
we've
Tech
been
legend,
Baker
man. What can
guys.
I say? Texas Tech legend. What can I say? What can I
Just
say?
just a legend. OU. He was known at OU though.
No, no, no.
I think only Tech fans view him as a Tech guy. Everybody else views him as an OU guy. No, but yeah, other than that, Nick Chubb, you could start him. I feel comfortable starting
I'm
him
not
because he was a
starting
running
Nick
back
Chubb.
one. You wouldn't?
Mm.
He got 10 carries, like 60 yards.
No
It was pretty
passing
productive.
work.
I mean, no other running back got passing work. Dara
Mm-mm.
Gumbawale, I think he got like three
I'm not.
catches. I
I'm
think
not. I'm not going with Nick Chubb.
I mean like if you have to start him. That's what I mean. Like if you're in
If
like
you
a
have to start him,
two flex.
start someone else.
I can't. He's in my dynasty, damn it. I don't have nobody else. I have no choice. But yeah, no.
That's
Give me the
what y'all
bake show.
get for not letting me put the fat budget and just picking up whoever the hell y'all want after the draft. Like,
Hey, I mean, I'll take Nick Chubb. Like, he's much better than what I had. He's much better than what I had. But all right, this last game,
I'm still
LA
salty.
Chargers versus the Raiders. I know
You
whenever you're sitting there,
no, because
you
I
were
was
kind of
like,
low key.
bruh, like this is supposed because and I was like, and now my team's messed up because of it. Because like I don't have like anybody like taxi available. You know what I'm saying? Or like any good
Oh, you don't have
rookies because
nobody on
I
the
didn't
taxi
hop
squad.
on it right away either because I was like, all right, it's gonna be Fab, and yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't work out.
Well, I think it's because I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was my dad or Damien that picked up somebody first, and I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss out on these guys right here.
Hmm.
So no, my team was already bad as it is. But all right, this Chargers and Raiders game is the last game of the NFL Week 2 slate. Chargers are favored by 3.5. 46.5 is the over under in Vegas. Who's winning this game?
Give me the Chargers. I do think that it's gonna be a close game. I will say I feel like this will be a little bit better of a matchup than they had in week one. Well, it was still close, but I will say
Yeah.
that the Raiders will bounce back a little bit. I do hey, hot take,
Let's hear it.
Deontay Thornton has a big game in this one. I don't know.
Ooh.
I feel like Deontay
You
Thornton
just
has a
you
big
just feel a
game.
Deontay Thornton game?
I feel it coming. I feel it. I feel like he's gonna get a lot of 20+ yard deep throws from Geno Smith in this
Okay.
one. But I'm still sticking with the Chargers who have 4 Deontay Thorntons on their team. So
Yeah, no, I'm definitely taking the Chargers
and
here.
Amarian
Hon-
Hampton, I do think I think both players have a bounce back. Genty and Amarian Hampton. I do think they left a lot on the table last week. It's just
Mhm.
matchups wasn't going their
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I agree with you, and I just think that both of these guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they have 15 plus carries each one of them. And all I'm saying is, Damien, I hope you're hearing this. Jacoby Myers is going to have the game of his life. He's going to have the best game, and he's going to lead me to a fantasy football win for the week. in that league that you trade me in, but they're still going to lose. So I'm taking the Chargers here. But all right, Josh, we only disagreed on 3 games for the week. You have Jacksonville, I have Cincinnati, you have Seattle, I have Pittsburgh, and I have the Philadelphia Eagles, and you have the Kansas City Chiefs. So 3. So it works out perfectly. We don't have to do no tiebreakers, no nothing. So
what if it ends
Josh,
in a tie? What if one of them ends in a tie?
ooh, let's do this. Let's do this instead. Who finishes or who has a better fantasy football week? We could pick quarterback, running back, or wide receiver. Just who finishes number 1. Let's just do that.
Finishes number 1? Like
You know what
out
I
of
mean?
any player?
Yeah, standard. So we'll go off like the
PPR
triple
or
B,
standard?
in the BBB draft, in that one. Who has pick a skill position, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna pick 2 different players.
Sheesh. Let's do crap.
That's what I'm saying. So it could end up something different, because I don't think nobody's ever done tiebreakers like that. There's wide receiver, there's running back, there's tight end, there's quarterback.
We can do running back.
Running back? Okay. Who's going to be the running back 1 this week in fantasy football?
Damn, that's a good question. um
Ooh, this one's really interesting right here. This one's really interesting.
Let me look at the matchups real quick.
I mean, there's the likes of the bold takes of Travis Etienne, the Chase Browns. There's those guys right there. There's obviously the Gibbs, Bijan, Saquon, Derrick Henry. There's a Brees Hall, maybe. There's a James Cook by chance. Cardinals, maybe a James Conner. He pops off for a game. Buccaneers, Bucky Irving, Amarian Hampton, Ashton Genty. There's those guys. Nick Chubb, if you have to start him in Dynasty. So, yeah, I'll let you make your pick first since you won last week.
Sheesh, bro.
And then, obviously, if they don't get first, we'll just see.
You know what?
Had,
Give me
had the better
Jahmyr
week.
Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got Jahmyr Gibbs versus Chicago. I'm tempted to take Derrick Henry, but I'm also feeling a little crazy here. I feel like maybe taking a Chase Brown or Travis Etienne. Don't ask me why. You know what? Give me Derrick Henry. Let me not get crazy here. I'll take Derrick Henry. All right. Well, we got it right here.
I was almost gonna take Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I'm tempted. Because that Cincinnati one. I'm gonna just stay with it. But all right, Josh.
I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Any last words before we get out of here?
No.
All right. Actually, I didn't even do our opening monologue. I just barely thought about that. I didn't even read that, but I'm gonna read it before we get out of here. Find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSESA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. Make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. We will see you guys next